And I'm already jumping jack.
2 to 3 hours and night per night. And this beautiful? I've slept for 6 to 8 hours and this is me.
And you are maganda.
Oh,
Guapa.
thank you very much. So, are we ready for the question and answer? How did you prepare for this press con? Because these people are so excited to talk to you actually and to meet you in person. What were your preparations going here? Can you please share it to us?
Well, first of all, I want to say maraming salamat everyone for being here with us. It means a lot, really a lot to me to be here with all of you. Because, as you know, maraming salamat, as in the song, is my first song here in the Philippines to be released here, and your country has always been a very, very special country in my heart, and I always feel that even though I'm Chinese, from Hong Kong, I have a Filipino heart. So it's like coming home.
Yes, actually, and we love having you here. Okay, before we start off with the question and answer, can we just hear a bit of the song Maraming Salamat? Can you just play it a bit? Just a piece, or just Qymira? Of all the names that can be, presented to you or you may use, why Qymira?
Okay, I love fantasy. I love fantasy world. And Qymira actually came from the Greek legend, the Qymira. So it's actually a beast in ancient Greece.
A beast?
Yes. And I thought, well, you know what, I don't look at it like a beast. I actually look at it like a very interesting animal of three animals in one. It's a lion, a snake, and a goat. And I thought that as a person, actually, forget about being an artist, but as a person, we are all chimeras, because at any given time, we have a private face, a public face, sometimes we are a friend, a girlfriend, a mother, a professional, a brother, a husband, So that's the reason why chimera, because I feel that all of us have very different roles in life. We wear many different hats. But instead of using the phrase wearing many different hats, it's basically embodying many different animals in ourselves to just be free. Sometimes you're a lion, you want to roar. Sometimes you're a snake when you feel in a good way. When I sing, for example, sometimes you feel sultry, a bit more sensual. And sometimes you feel like a goat, more vulnerable and fragile moments. You let your heart be on the table and just say, you know what, I'm just here and I'm just bearing my soul to you. And that's the reason why Qymira, in many different guises, will encapsulate what I do. Sometimes with the orchestra, I roar. With the singing, I, like a snake. And then with the goat, it's when I write, poetry and all that. And because I also have from the music to the fashion to the film works that I do, it's also very different characters I play.
It's like having different personalities portraying different roles in life.
Yes.
That's true, no? When you're facing a friend, you have a different personality. You may be a very soft-spoken person when dealing with your family, and you may be, as tough as a tiger or a lion when you're dealing with your siblings like that, because you have to be tough.
Yes.
You have to show a different face. So that is why you've chosen Qymira as a name. And that, yes, would you like to add up to that?
No, you know what, Lindsay, a lot of people ask me why do you spell the word Qymira?
Yes, interesting.
Because, the original animal name is Chimera. And I thought that, that's an animal. That's the animal that everybody knows as Qymira.
Yes.
But I wanted to put the artistic touch to it. And when you put the letter Q to the name, and then Y, you almost feel like you're reading the word pyramid, like ancient Egypt. So it's got this fantasy, almost like it invites imagination to the person that's seeing the word and watching the works that Qymira does.
It's like you really thought of this, before coming out and having the Qymira name. It's like you've, how do you call that? It's like you've brainstormed a lot with the name. And that must be the reason why you've been #1 in so many things. Like when you sing, you have this song that hit #1 in the UK, and 3 other songs that hit #1 in Brazil. Oh my gosh! Can you please tell us more about this? Because I found out a while ago while I was, running down your records. #1 is "Give It to Me" in UK. And not a lot of people can do that. Not a lot of artists can do that. Hitting #1 in UK is such a, something that is huge for some artists now. But how did you feel having "Give It to Me" hit #1 in the UK?
Actually, it was the song Satisfied that reached #1 in the UK, and then we followed up with Give It to Me. It went to top 5 as well in the UK, and I was very, very grateful because yes, indeed, it's not easy in the UK to reach that, so I'm very grateful. And then subsequently, we came out with 3 singles in Brazil, and for some reason, all of them went to #1.
Oh.
And it was in the Bahia radio, so the state of Bahia, on the radio stations over there. And it was ahead of a lot of the American and British artists, like, for example, Beyonce, Lady Gaga,
Yes.
Coldplay, so for me, I was very speechless. And I was asking them, how come, it's a foreigner, and I don't speak really Portuguese, how come, I was able to go to
the charts.
the charts. And they said, because you sang your song half in Portuguese, you embraced their culture, whereas the
Yes.
American artists, all their songs were in English. And in Brazil, actually, they don't really speak English. Some of them speak English, but most of them speak Portuguese. And I think for me, I never really learned Portuguese, but I've really been very fortunate to meet friends, and colleagues in Brazil, for example. And they are a very good group of people, very talented people. And just like here in the Philippines, it makes you want to learn their language, to
Yes.
understand their culture, to work with them. And I can carry on because, for example, apart from Chris Lawrence, and of course Lenny Paterno from your country.
Of course.
Yes, right. And I was very blessed to work with them, and also, I was performing with Billy Crawford as well before. Actually, we went back a long time ago. In the UK, we were touring together. And then in Brazil, I've had the fortune and privilege to work with different artists, to collaborate with them. From, for example, rapper-singer Duenji Primero, rapper Chaos, producer Peter Dobby Bilik, and Edu Casanova, whom I was doing the carnival with in Salvador, and many other artists, Furia, Consciente, and just they're so talented. And so when I'm interacting with them, I'm able to learn their culture, and when I collaborate with them, I become part of their world, and so it became very authentic, I suppose, and people like it.
Yes, and you've mentioned a lot of names, a lot of big names actually, but were there any struggles working with them? Because these people, I think they know each other, Beyonce and the rest of the names that you've just mentioned. And Qymira is here, he hit #1. What was the problem, do you think, that you had to surpass doing, collaborations with these people and actually, entering the world or entering Brazil? What did you have to,
Do you know, I never ever thought that in my wildest dreams that I would ever be in Brazil, because I'm Asian from
Yes.
Hong Kong. I've been a lot in the Philippines, but Brazil, it wouldn't even enter my mind.
Yes.
And in the UK, okay, sure, in the US, okay. But because of my foundation, One Guy Room, which I will speak, about
Yes.
it later on, I was invited to work in Brazil to help the children in need over there. And from there on, the producers, Dog B, we've actually been working for a very long time. So they were actually saying, why don't you collaborate with our artists over here as well?
Oh.
Now, the thing is, the problem you asked me, it's not really a problem, but I would say the challenge. The challenge is in that they don't speak English at all, the Brazilian
that
artists.
must be tough.
Yes, so in order to communicate with them, it's either I try to speak in Portuguese, you know, and basically completely immerse myself in their culture,
Which is tough.
Which is tough because, of course, you know, I had no basis to start with.
Yes.
But it became very easy when you just let yourself be free and just go with the flow. And now they have become very good friends, even though we actually communicate in my half Portuguese, you know, and it's very fun process. Yes, just like my Tagalog, you know. All I need to say is, gutom ako, wow kita. And then, you know, I will never go hungry, you know.
Yeah, that must be the reason why she's very successful in a lot of ways, because she tries and she really does immerse herself in so many cultures, and wherever she goes, I would like to learn Portuguese. I would like to learn the things in the US, because apart from singing, she also does a lot. Like she does arts and filming, and she's always on the top. And with that, I salute you with that. And okay, let me just ask you. You always sing in different. You have different variations when it comes to singing. You know, you're good in orchestra, you're good in rock, and you're good with almost everything. But
That's too kind.
I'm just saying it's real. But what is the Qymira signature? It's like when you hear the song, oh, this is a song by Qymira. This is a Qymira album. It's coming from this album. It's Qymira. So what's the signature?
Actually, the Qymira signature is there is no signature in a way. Because I feel that when you put a signature on something, you are pigeonholing yourself. You're putting yourself in a box. But
Good point.
in a way, for me, because I try my best to work with different culture, so the signature becomes an eclectic mix of music, different music style. And because I picked up violin and piano when I was 3 years old, my mom was a music teacher. So as a result, you know, I was classically trained. And so I never forgot my roots in violin, piano. But then later on, I had the pleasure to meet a very special gentleman. He's actually here, Ferdy Morris, over here. When I was in my university days, that's how we met, actually, through a good friend of ours in Hong Kong, who saw me perform the violin in the Coliseum. I was standing in for a violinist for a pop artist in Hong Kong. Like last minute, my friend said, who's the director of the show, said, hey, you know what, our soloist got sick. Can you stand in for her and play your violin? And I had never, at that age, I think I was 17, you know, I had never performed in a Coliseum.
Yes.
So I thought, you know what, I'm up for a challenge. Let's do this. So I will do it. And then our common friend, you know, saw that. And then, you know, we started my journey in R&B. That's why I mention it. It's then from classical, transitioning to R&B and urban music, all the way to now, it's many different forms. In the US, I did rock, I had a rock album, and then now it's basically everything together. I had the pleasure to work with the members of the Philippine Philharmonic and the Manila Philharmonic in December. More works with them will come up.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yes.
So many plans lined up for you. And just so everyone knows, Qymira is also #1. You won a spot in the violin, what do you call this?
I was the first violinist in the National String Academy in the UK.
You see what I'm talking about? This woman is everything. You're always #1.
I'm just restless, I'm just trying.
Because she's so fluid, she can actually work with a lot of things.
I've been very fortunate to have the opportunities in different fields, be it violin or piano, and I just thought, you only live once, why not? You know, just try your best and see where it goes.
Do you think this is the reason why you are different or apart from any other artists? You know, being fluid and able to do whatever you like to do. Is this?
I think I put it down to two things. First of all, I think every artist is unique.
Yes,
Every
definitely.
artist, you know, because if you're actually fortunate enough to be already a professional artist, then of course, you know, you will be gifted, talented in either singing or be a musician or something. And no two artists are the same, because no two people have the same voice.
Yes.
So I would say in a way, if you put the question as what sets me apart from other artists, I would say that because of my very fortunate opportunities that I've been getting from different worlds, so be it in England, I was born in Hong Kong, raised in the US and UK, and then had my exchange in, for example, Brazil and in Philippines, it makes my music style very different. And
Yes.
so between the different music style and different culture, that's what makes a Qymira album different. So you may hear, for example, Latin drums, Latin influence in a song, but you may hear a whole orchestra from the Philippines playing on it.
Yes,
Yes,
something
that's the
different.
Qymira signature.
Ah,
And
so
then when I sing, you won't actually, in a way, fit a not so R&B voice, because I was a soprano before.
you're a soprano. What else can you not do? Okay, sorry.